Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geek'd, where we encourage you to stay geeked. Listen, man, no Will today, but y'all already know I am here as your boy Real, rocking the X-Man T out here. Special guest in the building with me, guys. I got the lovely Madam Rail, aka my wife, on with me. She's gonna kind of help me carry the
Good
show today.
morning.
Yes, say good morning to the peoples.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation today because a lot of Marvel news. I think we got one DC news related thing that dropped, but it's gonna be a lot of Marvel, man. Y'all know how it is around this time of year. As movies and things are starting to rev back up, TV shows starting to rev back up after the strikes. It's going to be a lot of things coming down the pike here as far as news. I don't know if a lot of things will be going in production. As y'all know, a lot of things are being pushed back. We're gonna probably talk about that today too. A lot of movies, a lot of shows being pushed back to the 2025. So we're gonna get into all that, man. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. All right, man. First topic up.
All right. Kevin Feige claims there are no plans to resurrect Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Oh, thank you. Good. Thank goodness.
Okay. Listen.
I'm sorry, but I just feel like Iron Man he did his part. We need to let it rest.
Shout out to Will. He feels the same way. Um, listen, there's a lot of things you can take out of Kevin Feige's, quote here. The thing about the whole MCU and how things have been handled. I know a lot of y'all have been following us here and listening to how we've been talking about what's been going on with the MCU over the last maybe 6 months now. Everything has been looking like it's falling apart for the massive juggernaut, and a lot of that has to do with how they're handling some of their characters, not giving a lot of time for the people to drink in the characters, as y'all heard me say a million times. The fact that Kevin Feige is being stretched completely thin to the point that he does not have a hand in a lot of the projects that are being put out there now, which you can kind of tell because of how things are being handled and how some of the movies are getting panned by critics. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they don't have a singular character that they can build around that gives the people something to kind of grasp to, and they haven't had that since Captain America and Iron Man. And so now they're kind of trying to walk around with chickens like they with their heads cut off, trying to figure out some kind of way to draw the people back to the movies, which is why you've been hearing a lot of rumors of them bringing back the original, Avengers because of how things have been going in the MCU lately. So the fact that we've been hearing, Chris Evans maybe coming back or Robert Downey Jr. coming back, I could see it. I've said it before. I think I've told Will this. I said I truly believe they're both going to come back. It's like Marvel is pretty much forced their own hands the way they've been handling this whole multiverse saga. And so now with this news coming out, the reason why I'm not holding my hat on this as far as it being a definitive thing of him not coming back is because of the multiverse. Now, the Robert Downey Jr. that we know of as Iron Man, yeah, he's probably not coming back. But
Oh,
there's so many different versions of Iron Man out there in the quote unquote multiverse that they can bring back.
well,
So
I would love to see Iron Man being the bad guy. Maybe Captain America too. The what was the one where Captain America was taken in by the
Civil
Nazis? Well,
yeah, Civil War. Oh, you talking about
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know all the terminology. I'm really bad at this, but if they have to do this, if this is something that they must do in order to get their revenue up or keep people interested in, they need to make it a little bit more different and it needs to be only for a short amount of time. I
Yeah.
mean, they need another Kevin Feige the the movies at this point. Um, I don't know what else they could do at this point.
I mean,
I really
that's what
liked.
I agree with you, bro.
I can't remember that movie. Was it Shang-Chi? I always say it wrong.
Yeah, Shang-Chi
Um, that's
or Shang-Chi.
probably the only movie that I've liked since Iron Man's Endgame.
Yep. Yep.
and they put out
And
so many. Oh, I also like
uh,
Stranger Thing. I like Strange Thing. Doctor Strange, part two, or
oh, Multiverse of
was that
Madness.
part two? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was very good. Um, but that's about it.
And this is what I always talk about. I know I bring this example up on pretty much on every show. I talk about the fact that people like you, Josh's wife, my aunt, y'all represent the larger majority of the moviegoers. Like you just said, you don't know a lot about the ins and outs of the Marvel comics. You didn't know anything about the multiverse. You didn't know anything about Kang. I feel like that whole multiverse saga was pretty much a homage to the fans. Yeah, I know who that person is, but me sitting here trying to explain to you about this and that, you're not gonna understand that. And Josh has said that
Right.
before too about his wife. He's been trying to explain stuff to his wife, and she don't really get it. So that's why I always go back to the fact that they should not have done the multiverse, or if you're gonna do the multiverse, you should have simplified it a little bit better. That way, people can understand it and can follow it a little bit better. Because right now, you got a lot of lost people out here. We talked about the fact that if they had done Kane right, like a lot of people, like I said, like yourself, you don't know who Kane is. I can sit here and explain to you till I'm blue in the face, like how important this guy is, how deadly he is, and all that. But you looking at it on the screen like I thought you said he was this. I'm like, but I'm telling you, he is in the comic. He's this and that and this. No, he's okay. You know, like I said, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that they mishandled this whole entire situation. Now they have backed themselves in the corner of having. That's why you see these rumors coming out, man. Listen, if you want to get the people, like you just said, if you want to get the people back in the movie theaters, if you want to build that trust again back in the MCU, I really think they're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I'm willing to put our house on it that they're going to do it. Like
That's
I really think
that's
they're going to
wild.
do it. I think they are. Cause what choice do you have? Unless because right now the rumors are that they're going to move away from Kang, and then now they're going
Yeah.
to they're gonna try to. I don't like feeling like you're scrounging trying to find another person to build around. Like we should just done it right the first
Well,
time.
well, they kind of have to. I mean, with the whole
Well, yeah,
Jonathan
they have
Majors
to. Yeah, yeah.
situation. But um, I I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I don't think that they're scrounging. I think that to me personally, I like the multiverse idea because it gave them an opportunity, if done correctly, to do some really great things. Um, I just feel that it's a desperate move to bring those two back, especially when they've been in the game for like, what is it, 14 years? They've been doing this or more or less.
Yeah, about 14, 15 years now.
It's time for new characters, and I just feel like they could do this by properly introducing the X-Men. I
Yeah,
just feel like once they bring them in and if they do them correctly, um, and they're, very entertaining and true to the comics. I don't know the comics or anything like that, but I would love to see a true Storm and T'Challa situation. I would like to see Rogue done properly. What's the guy with the glasses? Oh goodness.
oh, Cyclops.
Thank you so much, babe. I would love to see him done correctly. I just didn't feel like they did him right.
Nope.
But my friend used to wake me up very early in the morning when we were kids, and he would make me watch X-Men cartoons. And I remember being like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this," but somehow I would be enthralled by them. So they were very entertaining. I just feel like their saving grace is going to be X-Men.
I Hey, listen, I got the shirt on. I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right because I just man, like I said, they got to get this. And you know what's crazy? You're using MCU and get this right in the same sentence. When did we get to this point to where you're using MCU and get right in the same sentence? I would have never in my life thought we would have heard that. I always thought that MCU would always, if they did hit a bump in the road, they'll figure it out and just smooth it right out. Like I said, they're not doing it right now. We got Bob Iger back in the saddle, so hopefully, man, he take care of business. And he's been going on this full press tour, talking about some of their plans and how they're gonna, move forward and all that stuff. And I'm hoping that they start backing up those words with actions because right now, it's looking a little questionable. Maybe, like you said, maybe they are thinking that the X-Men is the saving grace. Maybe. I don't know. Because we've been screaming the X-Men for the last 815 years, so maybe that is the saving grace. I don't know. I hope that's what they are. I hope they got a plan, and I hope they try to stick with the plan and try to kind of like what Did was saying, just try not to get too political because I know Kevin Feige. I mean, I'm sorry, not Kevin Feige. Bob Iger touched on that, and he kind of wants to go back to the entertainment factor of the MCU, which kind of made is what helped them get to where they are, and I hope they kind of get back to that, man, get back to their roots, and so hopefully that's the way to go. You got anything else you want to touch on there, bro?
Yeah, really quick. What part was political? I guess you
Well, you
mean
know how
like,
it is, the whole quote unquote woke agenda.
oh, right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Bob Iger's kind of touched on that. I think he kind of saw it too here. When I've always said too, a lot of it has to do with the fact I've been screaming this a million times. I know a lot of people have heard me say this. Shout out to the folks in the comment section. Y'all been feeling hearing me say this for the longest. As soon as Kevin Feige, I remember we had a show. Me and Will had a show, and I know he was excited. Like, oh man, he get to be over everything now. And the first thing I said is, yo, that sounds great and everything, but you don't think he's gonna get stretched too thin? And now that's like the big thing that's coming out right now. The fact that he's getting stretched too thin. And I always use the example of the Daredevil show. The fact that he didn't look at the script of the Daredevil show until they were 1/4 into shooting the show. You've never
Oh,
heard Kevin Feige have that. Kevin Feige usually crosses his T's and dots his I's before anything hits in production. It was in
mhm.
production 1/4 the way in, and he canceled the whole entire thing, scrapped it all, got new writers and everything. So that's how thin he's being stretched right now. Like you just said, maybe get another Kevin Feige. I know Bob Iger's touched on that. The fact that he's had a talk with Kevin Feige, maybe cutting back some of his load, or maybe you get somebody in here that can help you delegate. And I always talked about
Mhm.
that too. The fact that it was supposed to be James Gunn before the whole tweet thing got out there or whatever a couple few years back. It was supposed to be James Gunn. James Gunn's supposed to be the second, which is why that's how James Gunn got his seat at DC.
In DC. Can you
Yeah,
imagine if this was the case right now? If Kevin Feige and James Gunn were working together right now, the type of quality we would have, it would be off the chain. Like, it would
that's
just
and
be
that
everything we ever wanted.
yes, which is why you always hear me and Will use the phrase "in Gun we trust" because listen, I have faith in this man that he's gonna get like you said. Look at the quality of his when he's in a collaborative type of atmosphere. As far as like, how do you want to make this movie? As far as with the Marvel movies, the DC movies, probably more Marvel because DC was more like, hey, just put something out that you want to put out. But you see how he is, man, when he's with a circle of people that can put things together. So I could just imagine what he's going to do with a studio. You put in he's a great storyteller, great visionary when it comes to these type of movies. As far as the comic book movies, he is a massive, massive geek. So that's why I said I can trust him when it comes to putting the DCU in the right direction. So, and obviously it was Kevin Feige.
Absolutely.
Kevin Feige trusted him too. He's going to make him his right hand man. So
Yeah. James
that's
Gunn knows how
encouraging to
to
me.
bring makes you care about the characters as well on both
Yes,
sides. Like, he makes you
yes.
understand where they're coming from. And we're missing that aspect in Marvel currently.
And what you saying, and that's why I cannot wait until Superman Legacy come out. I bet that movie's gonna be fire, man. I cannot wait. All right, man, you ready? Let's get to this next one here. Ugh.
Sure.
Quick hits. All right, let's get into the quick hit news related things here. Things and all them things. First up, what we got,
All
bud?
right. Ryan Reynolds releases a statement about all the set photo leaks from Deadpool 3.
Yeah. And here's the quote right here, but go ahead and read this for the peoples.
Surprises are part of the magic of theatrical movies. It's important for us to shoot the new Deadpool film in real, natural environments using practical effects as opposed to making the movie indoors and digitally. Telephoto lenses continue to spoil surprises and create a different situation for everyone. Here's hoping some of the websites and social channels hold back showing images before they're ready. The film is built for audience joy, and our highest hope is to preserve as much of that magic as possible for the finished film and the big screen. Part of the reason people post spoilers is because they're excited. I realize these aren't real world issues, and it's firmly in the good problems bucket. I love making this movie.
Yeah. Um. Listen. I know how things work. We're in 2023, which is understandable. We live in a time now where it's kind of hard to keep secrets as far as when it comes to movies. Whenever you hear people, talk about certain characters being in the movie, like, man, I didn't even know they had that character in the movie. It's like I'm guaranteeing you somewhere it was leaked. When Beast
Oh,
was in the
absolutely.
Marvels movie, I told Will I remember hearing that there was rumors that he was going to be in the movie, and then lo and behold, he was in the movie. So it's kind of hard to keep secrets, especially for something like this that a lot of people are anticipating as far as Deadpool 3, and it being the only
Yeah.
MCU movie coming out in 2024. A lot of people are excited, and it's understandable. I mean, I agree with them. I don't like when people leak stuff. Like I said, nowadays it's hard to try to dodge that type of stuff, especially what me and Will do when we cover this type of stuff. It's kind of hard to try to stay away from it. I know what he does. He turns off all his notifications and everything when it comes to like certain movies and stuff because he doesn't want to get spoiled. But I mean,
Oh wow.
it's par for the course. Like it's to the point. Like I told you before. Like I'll be sitting there on YouTube scrolling, and then you see leaks being posted on YouTube, and I gotta, you know, try not to look at what the caption is saying or whatever, or what the video is talking about and all that. Try to scroll through it and
Babe,
just,
you get so mad every time you
ah,
say like, "Oh my gosh, why are they showing so many trailers on this movie? Why is everybody spoiling everything?"
yeah. Like that's why when I think me and you talked about this before too. I told you I don't watch. I might watch the first maybe two trailers. I watched the teaser and then the first official trailer. Like after that, I try not to watch it because, like I said, nowadays it's not just the trailers. It's just that so many people have access to this stuff now that they spoil those things. It's like people want to be like, "Oh, I'm the first one to know it." And I know he said
Yeah,
in his quote, Ryan Reynolds said in his quote, "Oh, because everybody's excited." It's like, no, everybody wants to be first. That's what it is.
yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, look what I see. Look what I see." It's like, but you're the same joy that you had when you first saw that. You're taking that from a lot of people when you do that, and they don't understand that.
yeah.
And it's not fair to us. Like we want to have that same experience that you had when we first found out that person was there or whatever.
Absolutely,
It's
it's
it,
selfish.
it's very selfish, and so that's why I say like um I'm not surprised by this. It's not the only movie they've ever done this. I'm glad he came out and kind of addressed it or whatever. Like don't just sweep it under the rug because a lot of these studios just sweep it under the rug like it's par for the course. People always spoil stuff, but the fact that he came out and said, "Man, look, I apologize," and he's not even his fault. He's not the one doing it, right? So, and he's apologized for the people who are doing it and just asking them, "Can I please just tone it down on the spoilers, man, because people want to enjoy the movie just like you." Which I mean, that's
Yeah,
common sense, right? I mean, I don't know why people want to just do that, but I mean, it is what it is. What
I
you
mean
think,
that's
man?
the day and age we live in. That's the day and age we live in. We're in a TMZ type of world. Oh, I was here first on the scene. I mean, they did Kobe Bryant some type of way. I'm still hurt by that. But when you have that type of world where you're constantly trying to be first and gain likes and views and all the things like that, nothing is off limits. So,
Facts.
oh, I'm
That's
trying to
why I
read the
say,
comments. My bad.
oh yeah, I put them on there for everybody to know that their stuff is on
Oh,
there.
that's what's up.
Shout out to everybody in the comment section, man. Y'all
Hey,
in here
y'all.
wilding. Y'all in here wilding this morning. But yeah, man. I'm going to get to this next quick hit here. It's gonna be an interesting one. So, my bad,
Oh,
my bad. All right,
that makes
go ahead,
me
read that.
sad. Marvel has asked Mark Ruffalo to stay silent on potential Hulk film. Oh, isn't Mark Ruffalo the one that's like chatty, or is that just
Yes,
Superman?
that's what I was just about to say. But you gotta tell the most chattiest actor of all time. Probably him and Tom Holland, the two most chattiest actors of all time. It's like they can't keep their mouths closed and they spoil everything. But here's a
I
clip
love
right
Mark
here.
Ruffalo.
Here's a clip right here. We're gonna play this clip.
I gotta ask you about the Hulk. NBC Universal and Disney recently made a deal for Hulu. We know the Hulk movie rights for a standalone picture have been kind of complicated. Has that changed anything?
Not that I know of. I've been asked not to comment on it, that specifically. I mean, hopefully one day they'll work it out. I think it could be really cool, and I've been putting a lot of thought into what it could be to be cool. So, but I don't know yet.
Yeah. Um.
Oh, Mark.
Listen. They, old Mark Ruffalo. So for years, this a matter of fact, I had to explain this to King on We Talk Math, cheap plug. Um, so the way that this is right now, I know there are two studios separate from the MCU own the cinematic rights of characters. That's Sony owning the Spider Verse, and that's well, they own them straight out, like as far as the distribution and the filming rights. Universal owns the distribution rights to the Hulk and to Namor, which is why you saw Namor just be a character in another movie. You've seen the Hulk be a character in another movie. And I know a lot of people are wondering why he hasn't had a movie yet, and that's why. They Universal still owns the distribution rights. So that means if Disney was to make a movie, they would have to split some of that profit with Universal. And
So
I don't want
share
to
it.
make a movie. I don't want to make a movie and have to share money with you, right? I'm the one putting the movie out there. But I don't know
Can I ask
when
you a
that is
question?
supposed. Oh, go ahead.
I have a question in regards to the Hulk movie with what's that guy's name from Fight Club?
Uh oh, what's the boy name? Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. Thank you so much.
Mm.
I was wondering, like, was that filmed through Disney or Universal?
No, that was Universal.
Oh, okay.
That movie was out before the MCU became its own studio. Like it's part of
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
part of MCU, but technically it was not filmed before uh the MCU became a studio. So uh yeah, that's all Universal. But yeah, you can watch that movie on Disney Plus. Like so, but it's gonna if you notice if you watch it on Disney Plus, it opens up with a Universal opening. So um, but yeah, like I don't know what the situation is as far as I heard years back like that the rights were supposed to be reverted back over because we'll probably reverted back over to Disney. So the way is I remember it, or maybe I'm misremembering it. They were supposed to have a film in production within a 5-year window or something like that. But this is like a while back. And if they didn't, then those rights got reverted back over. And so I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know what's going on with the Universal thing. This has been going on for years now. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that it's supposed to be reverting back over to Marvel as far as the distribution rights for both Hulk and Namor, which is why you never. I mean, for years they were talking about maybe coming out with a Namor movie, but that was going to be under Universal. It was Universal was the one putting that out there that they wanted to come out with a Namor movie, and so, like I said, that's why you saw Namor and Hulk both be in other people's movies in the MCU because they can't have their own movie right now as long as Universal owns the distribution rights. So maybe there's something coming down the pipe, but you already know how that goes. If we hear about it, it's gonna be major news. So I
Right.
kind of hope because I would want to see a Hulk solo movie, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous because of how they've been handling the Hulk here in the MCU. Folks been hearing me ranting about that. I remember me and Will was on the phone for hours ranting about it. I don't like how they're handling the Hulk, and so I'm kind of nervous of them, maybe finally making a movie and just completely, nerfing the Hulk even further. So
I hope
I
they
don't know.
wouldn't do that to him.
I
They didn't do
mean,
him right in Marvel. I mean, in Endgame.
yeah.
Um, I thought that was kind of weird, but I did like the merging of the Hulks. But my favorite movie is, of course, always going to be Thor Ragnarok. I just thought that was awesome. And I also my favorite part that the Hulk ever participated in is when he was like, "I'm always angry." That little scene you showed,
Yeah.
and he just morphed, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" If we could have more of that, then I probably would be really excited to see a
Oh,
Hulk movie.
you and everybody.
Right.
You and everybody. Cause like and I always go back. I told Will this. The last time we truly got the true Hulk was in Age of Ultron. That's the last time we
Yeah.
truly got the Hulk. After that, it was him, like you said, him merging and walking around with beach attire on and flip flops and cracking jokes, dabbing or whatever. It's like that's not the Hulk. And the fact that he got done the way he got done in Infinity War made a lot of people mad because he never kind of redeemed himself after that. And knowing Hulk
Yeah.
from the comics, that's not the Hulk. So
Right.
I'm just hoping that they kind of correct that if they decide to go forward. I really feel like I told Will this. I really believe that they're gonna revert back to it being two people, the Hulk and then Bruce Banner. That's what I really feel like they're gonna do. Kind of hearing what the people are saying, especially after like She-Hulk and all that. Like I think they're gonna revert back to the old Hulk eventually. That's what I believe. All right, bro. Let's go to the next story here.
All right. Amazon Spider-Man Noir series hires the Punisher writer as showrunner. Oh,
Yes, sir. Shout out to
I'm gonna
Will. We
let you
made it.
talk all over this. I don't
We
know much
made it,
about this
Will.
guy.
We made it. Listen, man. Look, I just don't know how excited I am about this. So Spider-Man Noir is one of the characters that I kind of, you know, learned about later on and kind of like fell in love with later on. He's kind of think of Batman the animated series fused with Spider-Man. Like and if you're telling me that you're attaching the Punisher showrunner,
Mhm.
where my wallet at? Just go ahead and take my wallet. Just go ahead and keep it. Whatever you want to do with it, just keep it. Like this is perfect. And we all know how Amazon is running their shows,
Oh
high
yeah,
quality
Amazon is killing
shows.
it.
Yes, it's killing it with the shows. You telling me once again, you got a dark version of Spider-Man. He has a showrunner from the Punisher from the Netflix series, and it's gonna be on Amazon. That sounds like 3 wins to me. 3 wins to
Yeah,
me right there.
that's true.
So I have complete faith that this show here is going to be an original take on Spider-Man. Something that a lot of us, like people like I know, like you, who don't know about the character, other than from the Spider-Verse. I know a lot of people remember I said Black Noir Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse. We doing the putting the dukes up and all that. Like, nah, it's gonna be a whole lot different, man.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
gonna be comical. Like, it's a different version. Like, trust me, if they do this once again, if they do this right, I trust they can do it right because they're gonna have the showrunner for the Punisher, man. And that was one of the greatest Marvel shows that was out right there on Netflix, Punisher, right after Daredevil. So yeah, I can't wait for this, man. Shout out to Will, man. We've been talking about this, man. They finally coming out with something different. I'm hearing that Amazon has signed a deal with Sony where they're trying to do different spin-off shows for the Spider-Man universe. So, and this is probably going to be their first one right
Oh,
here, and I can't wait.
that's
All right.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna like it, baby. You're gonna like it. Like I said, just put aside the Nick Cage Black Noir. I keep saying Black Noir, sorry. Spider-Man Noir. Put aside of that. That was part of the cartoon, it's part of his character with it, but it's gonna be good. I'm telling you. Y'all gonna like it. But all right, let's go to the next one here.
Disney CEO confirms the studio will stop making unnecessary sequels.
What? What does he mean? I don't understand. Um, I
Give me an
don't but
example of an unnecessary sequel.
that's what I'm sitting there trying to think now. I don't remember there being a unnecessary sequel. Now, have the sequel succeeded? In
Ah,
most parts, no. I would not say they were unnecessary. I don't think that. Okay, so this is my thing. I told Will about this. There's not a lot of movies or television shows in this quote unquote multiverse saga that makes me feel like this was a multiverse saga. Phase 1 through 3 feels like it has something to do. You might have had some filler movies here and there, but overall, phase 1 through 3 felt like an infinity saga.
mhm.
There's nothing, it's not a lot of movies in this phase that made me feel like, because supposedly it's supposed to be 2 phases, 4 and 5 so far. There's not any movies really in this phase that made me feel like this was a multiverse saga. I didn't feel Kang's stamp on any of these movies, other
Mm,
than Loki, season 1 and 2, and Ant-Man. So
yeah.
that's why I'm trying to maybe I don't want to say anyone weren't necessary. They just weren't good. They could have been better. Like Ant-Man could have been better. Like that was supposed to be
Can
an
I say
event film.
something?
Go ahead.
I thought that the Marvels movie was a little better than Ant-Man. I know
Mm,
everybody gonna hate me, but I did not like that movie. And I tried to rewatch it again, and I was just like, mm-mm. I didn't
yeah.
think the Marvels movie was that terrible. Um, I don't know. I just kind of I feel like they do the women wrong in Marvel.
I I
I
I
just
agree with you. I don't think it was that terrible. I don't think it was the Marvels were not terrible. It wasn't great.
right, but Ant
Um,
Man,
yeah, Ant Man. I'm with you. I tried to watch it again because like sometimes I did the same thing with Moon Knight. Like Will knows like one of my favorite characters, and I was like, man, I did not. I was so hyped for that show. When they finally came out with it, and we saw it. I was like, dang it, man, it's not good. So I went back and I'm like, yo, maybe it's just me. Let me just give it some time. I went back and watched it again. I was like, nah, it's not me. It's the show. Um, Same thing with kind of with Ant Man. I did the same thing. I was like I said, that was supposed to be an event film. That was supposed to be a
yeah,
Marvel event film, right? And it fell flat.
yeah,
Um, but I won't say it was unnecessary. It just wasn't good. If you had have executed it, we wouldn't be sitting talking about something not being necessary. Same thing with Thor and
yeah,
Love and Thunder. I know a lot of people were kind of down in that movie. I won't say that it wasn't necessary. It just wasn't executed. And so,
yeah,
oh, I mean, even Black Panther. I've went on record many a times. You heard me talk about this. I said they should have recast it, and it showed in the box office and showed in some of the critics. You know, it's like even Chadwick Boseman's brother said they should have recast it, and
yeah,
because you wanted to watch a Black Panther film, you wanted to watch him, and we really didn't get him other than the homage to him in the beginning of the movie. So it's just like I said, not unnecessary. Because like even if he was alive, you wouldn't have said that movie was unnecessary, right? You would have been like, okay, we got a Black Panther 2 coming out. So
yeah. But I speak for the. I understand exactly what you're saying as a comic book fan, as someone
mhm,
who has grown up and seen how they displayed all the events in the comic books. But me, as a person who just goes to the movies and was such a huge fan of Chadwick Boseman and what he brought to Black Panther, and how initially a lot of people didn't really understand his character, Black people mainly. And once they did, they're like, oh no, he's amazing. This is fantastic. Not wanting to let that go. I understand the predicament that the studios were in not to recast him and go a different route. So while I understand where you're coming from, I understand why they did what they did. Was it the best option? Probably not. But I understand where they came from in that aspect.
like
Just want
that's
to
kind
make
of
sure.
no. I listen. You're not the only one. Even Will felt that way. He kind of changed his mind later, but he felt that way at the beginning. The thing though is, um, they if that was kind of like the thought process, they probably should have gave it time before they
Yeah.
came out with the movie. Give it time and then make the decision to recast. Especially like if you got his own family members giving the blessing of like, yo, just you might want to recast it. That's probably what they should have did is recast it. And so yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with matter of fact, majority of it had to do with the fact that God, hey, like I said, folks like King was saying the same thing. He said he felt like he wanted to see Black Panther and he didn't get to see him in the movie. It's like that's really what drew the people originally to the movie was Black Panther. And
Uh-huh.
so I know a lot of people were going to see the second one because they wanted to try to pay their homage to him and him passing away and stuff. But like I think they handled that. I don't think they handled that right. I mean, you recasted Thunderbolt Ross, and you recasted him like that. Now I know people are like, "Oh, the circumstances are different." It's like, but you still recast it though. You recasted the guy, and and the new person, Harrison Ford, is going to be in a new movie coming up. So that's why I said they probably should have just recasted him or whatever. But as far as the unnecessary movies, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. Sorry, unnecessary sequels, because I don't think we would have been having this talk of unnecessary sequels if they just executed them better. And all that had to it
Right.
goes back to Kevin Feige being stressed in.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, you got anything else you want to add to that, babe?
Nope. No,
All
no.
right. Oh man, this is one act. This is your favorite right here.
Sean Gunn has been cast as Maxwell Lord in James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah.
Now, when you told me this, I was like, "Who is that?" And what? And All I know is Sean Gunn, and let me tell you guys something. I'm a huge fan of the Gilmore Girls. I would never have thought that this man would have been who he is today, but that is nepotism. That's his brother. I mean, right? That's his brother. Am I right?
Yeah, it's his brother. Uh,
He is a good actor. He's very funny. I mean, I just kind of
so
see him playing those squirrely, squirmy type of characters,
yes, there
like
you
the
go.
weird
You
ones,
said it
that
for me. You said
weird
it for me.
Fox. And
Yes.
uh, who did he play in Marvel? The
Uh,
raccoon
he,
Rocket. He
no, no,
played
no.
Rocket.
Well, I mean, yeah, he was a mocap for Rocket, but as a character, he played. I can't think of his name right now. He was the right hand man
Oh,
to
oh,
Yondu.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I
And
remember
then of
that.
course he played Weasel in Suicide
Yeah,
Squad,
Weasel.
James
That's
Gunn
what it
Suicide
was. I
Squad.
thought it was
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah. Um, yeah. So excuse me. For those who don't know, Maxwell Lord, think of like a Lex Luthor type of character, and he was portrayed by Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 84. So that's why I'm kind of like I would have liked not so okay. So Maxwell Lord is not as menacing as Lex Luthor, but trying to think how I could put this. He's like he's like a Lex Luthor light. That's how I could probably put it.
Mm,
But just not as like I said, not as menacing. Like Lex Luthor could be menacing.
mhm.
Maxwell Lord is not as menacing. But I just don't see his brother being Maxwell Lord. That's the thing that gets me. When I heard that when Will sent that to me, I was like, I don't know about that one. I understand you trying to get your brother in there. You could have made your brother anybody in the MCU. But Maxwell Lord, now I'm hoping he don't make him like a main bad guy in a movie. You know what I mean? Because that's just I don't see him as a bad guy.
You
So
know what? James Gunn is a genius. He can do pretty much anything. He might surprise us.
you're right. You're right. I mean, he made he made Dave Bautista a comparable actor.
He did. See?
So like I said, listen, I'm gonna say the same thing I told Will. I'm not saying it's not gonna work. I'm just saying on the surface, I never envisioned him being Maxwell Lord. But at the same time, we don't know James Gunn's vision. So until we
Mhm.
see it, we can't really just too much question it, I guess. And the motto is still in Gunn we trust here. So I'm gonna give it a chance and see what he does. But we'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
All
We
right.
will see.
Those are all the quick hits, right? So there's only one question to ask. I gotta ask you a question. Tell the folks at home. What it is you be watching out here in these geeky
What
streets?
it is you be watching in these streets.
Yeah, English merchant.
Um, yeah. Here lately, I've been watching a lot of zombie Asian um TV series on Netflix and a movie. I
Hmm.
watched Alive. Sweet Tooth came out with the new season, so we're watching that. Me and hubby. Um, I also been watching this really great show called Black Cake. It is fantastic. It's on
Oh,
Hulu.
that's
Um,
sound familiar.
no, it's so good. It's well written, and I'm a big fan of that show. Um, and because I like to have shows on in the background, I recently just finished watching New Girl. It's still hilarious. It still tickles me. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I've been thinking about rewatching. What's the show? Oh my gosh, Ah, the one that I've been trying to get you to watch this forever. Golly, it's my
Breaking
favorite
Bad.
show. I think I've been thinking about rewatching Breaking Bad all over again for the third time. We're thinking about doing like a breakdown of that.
Hmm. Let's see. What am I watching? Of course, I'm watching the zombie stuff with you. Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sweet. I can say Sweet Tooth. Sweet Home. That's two different shows. Sweet
I said
Home.
Sweet Tooth, didn't I? I meant Sweet Home. Sweet Home.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sweet Home. Yeah, it rolls off the tongue more with Sweet Tooth.
It
But
does.
yeah, Sweet Home. Saw that. We was watching that. I told Will I've been back on Baki Hana. I can't remember what season it is. I apologize. Because there's two different ones. There's Baki and then there's Baki Hana. I don't know why they have two different shows for the character, but I guess that's a Netflix thing because they got two different Castlevanias. But the only difference is Baki Hana and Baki and the Baki show kind of came out around the same time. I've been watching that. I've been watching Monarch. I'm finally watching Monarch. Not bad. It's not a bad show. And people were complaining about they don't like see monsters and all that stuff in like first few episodes or whatever. And I'm like, I've seen monsters. Like, what are we talking about? And I'm not even talking about just the flashbacks. I'm talking about them being chased by a monster and all that. I was watching that. Finally got around to watching Rick and Morty season 7. I think I'm on like episode 5 of that. What else? I feel like there's something else I'm watching. I'm missing here. I think those are pretty much it. Those are like the main shows and stuff I've been watching. What am I missing? I keep telling Will I'm gonna start writing this stuff down. I'll be getting to this point, man. I'll be trying to run down like streaming services in my head. Like, what am I watching on Disney Plus? What am I watching on Max? That's pretty much it. I think that's all I've been watching. The main stuff I've been watching. But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. You got anything else you want to add before we roll out?
I just want to thank everybody for letting me guest star on here today. Your boy will be back next week. So same time, same place.
Yeah.
I'm at
Shout out to Will. Shout out to Will. He out there in Kansas with Jay. Hope the boys are enjoying themselves. He will be back here next Saturday, guys, for more Geek Talk. You guys already know how we do it here, man. Listen, it's your boy Rail. Got my wife, Madam Rail. This is Cause We're Geeked, where we encourage you guys to stay geeked. We'll be back here next Saturday, same geek time, same geek channel. And we out.
Bye.